I want to say good evening to everybody. Thank you all for coming out tonight to show your concern for the city of Greensboro as we try to cover and conduct the daily business of the city of Greensboro. As always, we open up with prayer. This is one of our meeting that you wish not to participate in. We'll give you the time now to dismiss yourself. If not, we'll go right into prayer. Can you guys hear me out there? I see some frowning faces if you can. Can you hear me well? Thumbs up? No? All right. Let us pray. Oh, gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you on tonight just for another opportunity as the governing body, God, to conduct the business of your city, Greensboro, Georgia. And God, we pray over every citizen on tonight, God, not just over every citizen, but God, over every elected official, God, that makes us the governing body for the city of Greensboro. God, we go so far tonight to pray, God, over every governing body of every city in the United States of America. We just ask, God, that you will be with us on tonight as we try to do the very best that we can to hear from you and make sound decisions. And we thank you now. In your son Jesus' name we do pray. Amen. Thank God. Let the minutes reflect that everyone is present on tonight. As the minutes reflect that, we're going to move right on down the agenda and go to item number 3, which is the approval of our June 3rd, 2023 regular session minutes. And council, you should have a copy of those minutes. We'll move from you don't have a copy. We'll move from 3 and go right on down to 4. Community Development, Kale Hammond and Kendrick Warren Department update.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. You guys should have a copy of our report there at your desk. And for the members of the public who would like to receive a copy of this report, it's available online at our website, downtowngreensboro.ga.com, and it's under the Downtown Development tab. So you can pull up a copy of the report there. So it's our pleasure to speak to you guys tonight. We come twice a year and give you a report on the work that our department is doing. For the first part of our last report, we reported on activities that took place between January and June of 2022. And now we are coming to you with the complete 2022 annual report. So that's all of the activities between January and December of 2022. So Greensboro is a Main Street city, which means that we use the Main Street approach to work towards downtown development and downtown revitalization in our community. And the Main Street approach is basically based on 4 main pillars of downtown development: design, organization, promotion, and economic restructuring. And so you'll see tonight's report is organized according to those categories. Do you guys have everything that you need?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So Greensboro is actually recognized as one of only 19 cities in Georgia that is a Georgia Exceptional Main Street program. That means that we are the highest tier program for downtown development in the state of Georgia. We've been a gem since 2013. That was when, I'm sorry, I'm too distracted. Okay. So we're one of 19 gems in Georgia. There's 19 other cities in Georgia that are recognized at that highest tier level for downtown development programs in the state. And of those 19 cities, Greensboro is actually the smallest. We're the smallest city that's performing at the level that we're performing at, which is sort of that elite level for downtown development in Georgia. And we were one of the very first gems designated in the state. So we're very proud of that designation that we've held since 2013 and continue to maintain up through this current year. So as you look at your report on page 2, we'll tell you a little bit about design and the activities that we've done in the area of design in 2022. So design is basically the way that your city, the way that your downtown looks. And so you achieve good design through things like historic preservation, through things to incentivize good quality downtown development and redevelopment. And in Greensboro, we've done that through maintaining the downtown treescape, through working with the tree board to do that. We've also worked very hard to emphasize our local history through historic audio tours, the solar boxes, as we call them, throughout downtown, where you can push a button and hear the story of Greensboro. We actually have 7 of those already in downtown. We have some new ones coming, and those boxes are funded through grant funds from the Georgia Historic Preservation Commission. Our big project in the area of design, though, is our streetscape improvements. And I know I come to you guys from time to time talking about streetscape, but we have worked diligently, really going back to the late 90s to improve downtown sidewalks in Greensboro. And so if you look on page 3, you can kind of see the different phases we've moved through. We're actually currently just received funding to start phase 5 of downtown streetscape. So all of our efforts there, I know I've talked to you guys a lot about streetscape and we've heard a lot about that, but that really does have the potential to be transformative for downtown as we continue to expand that downtown footprint with the light standards and the hexagonal pavers and things like that for the downtown area. Another thing that we do in the area of design is holiday lighting. Kendrick and I will put up as many Christmas decorations as you will give us budget to put up. We love them. The town loves them. One of the things we're really proud of is the cafe lights that stretch across North Main Street. That really adds to the downtown youth. For this year, we're downtown holiday banners that said things like wonder and celebrate and that sort of thing come from the light standards. So we're super proud of those efforts as well. One thing that Greensboro does that is fairly unique is our downtown design assistance program. We have a program in Greensboro where if you own a downtown building or you're renting a downtown building and you want to make improvements to the facade of that building, but maybe you're not quite sure what improvements would look best, we will actually, the city will provide for you to work with a downtown design consultant. And that consultant will help produce a rendering for your building like the one you see here on page 4. So a lot of times we'll have property owners who will say, gosh, I know I want to paint my building green, but I don't know what color green is going to look good. And so what our downtown design process does is it takes into account like the surrounding buildings, and maybe we've got a lot of striped awnings on Main Street. Maybe it would look good if the next awning was a solid color instead of a striped color. So things like that give our downtown a nice cohesive look. And so we continue to do that and provide that service. In 2022, we actually had 6 improved downtown building facades in our historic district, thanks to this program. So it really does incentivize our downtown property owners to make their buildings look nice. The second pillar of Main Street is organization. And basically what people have found over the years trying to do downtown development all across the country is that there are certain key things that a Main Street program should do in terms of organization to help give it the structure that it needs to be successful. And so in Greensboro, part of that is that we maintain all of the reporting requirements to the Department of Community Affairs. Happens in our office. We make sure that we continue to be an eligible program for DCA. We even go a step above that and maintain GEM eligibility. So that's part of the work that we do there. Kendrick actually works very hard through the Georgia Downtown Association. She's a member of that group. She's on the board, and she's even serving on the Legislative Policy Committee and the GBA Education Committee. Greensboro in 2022 was recertified as a Georgia Initiative for Community Housing City, a big city. This was our 3rd time being certified, and that again is just part of the organizational strategy that we have to help Greensboro be successful in all of our efforts towards housing. It gets us bonus points on grant applications and things like that, maintaining that good status. And then you can also read a little bit about the LAP certification through the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. That is an all-hands-on-deck certification process that requires cooperation from a lot of our city staff who go off to trainings and are certified through the Georgia Department of Transportation. And through that LAP certification, it helps Greensboro be eligible for the grant funding that allows our streetscape projects and those grant awards to take place. So we have to be LAP certified to get the TAP grant funding for streetscape. So we're doing that. You can read a little bit about our volunteers and community partnerships, as as well. We continue to track all of our staff and our local official training. But some of the more interesting things that you probably don't think about that our office does are small things when there's an ordinance update needed. We had a historic preservation sign ordinance that needed just a small change to it to be able to facilitate a really great improvement with the signage in downtown. So we kind of keep abreast of those sort of things and make recommendations to the city attorney, who then helps us facilitate ordinance changes and updates that are necessary for downtown. We also, in 2022, I was invited to present on behalf of the city at the Greene County Economic Development Planning Retreat that was held by the Board of Education's strategic planning efforts. So we worked to coordinate across different groups of government here in our community. We keep track of a lot of downtown data. You can see some of that there on page 8. Our public property investment for 2022 was over $4 million. We're very proud of that. Part of what we do is keep up with that. How many properties are sold? What was the value of those properties? What was invested in those properties through rehabilitation projects and things like that, so that we know from year to year how Greensboro is doing. Was 2022 a great year? We actually know that it was. We saw a huge increase in public property investment in 2022, and we know that because we've been tracking that data going back, probably back to the late 90s when Greensboro was initially established as a Main Street community. We also keep up with how many people come to work every day in downtown Greensboro. 469 jobs are in downtown Greensboro. And that matters because if you're coming and you're talking to Kendrick and I about opening a restaurant in downtown or opening a business in downtown, we can tell you, well, here's your customer base. We know that every day over 400 people come to work in this area that we designate as downtown Greensboro, and they are potential customers for you. And so we keep up with that and track that information over the years. The other big thing that we track that I think we both are super proud of is our vacancy rates. We started tracking that back in 2006, and on page 9 you can see that our overall vacancy rate now is under 5%. We're at 4.44% vacancies in downtown Greensboro. There was a time back in 2009 and 2010 where we were up over 20% vacancies in downtown Greensboro. So we've seen that trend data continue to decline over the years, and I think that's something as a community that we can all be very proud of. So with that, Kendrick's going to talk to us a little bit about promotion, which is her wheelhouse.
So the next item on Main Street is a promotion. Most people think promotion are all the events, but we do more than just the events under promotion. With the audio tour, we did a walking brochure with that. Also an online walking tour, so people can walk on their smartphone and walk around town, or they can pick up a brochure. And in 2022, we also did a website refresh to make it more user-friendly and more in this era. Also, we track our social media because that right now is our number one way of getting the message out to people. We can reach a wider variety of people through different communities and attract them to downtown. So we have a chart of all of the social media numbers from the past few years. And we saw an increase of 1,000 people that have started following downtown Greensboro. And on the next couple of pages are just a couple of charts of like our reach of when we send stuff out, like where, we're reaching 122,000 people over the course of a year of just promoting events and downtown businesses and stuff. So if you skip to 14, another thing that we do for promotion, and which is one of our big things that we do, is we have a display at the Guest Welcome Center off of I-20 coming in from South Carolina. We've been doing this for a few years. We book it for 4 months, sometimes 5. And the cost is honestly less than a penny a day to have these visitors see our display. But we put it up, we have stuff in our office, we borrow stuff from merchants and put it out, and people stop at the Welcome Center and ask about Greensboro and help make the cash registers ring here in Greensboro. So there's a chart of like, the state tracks how many people come in, and you can see that there was over 140,000 people that came through the Welcome Center to see our display. So now to the events. Our office manages 4 events a year, quarterly events, larger events, starting with Southland Jubilee, and then we do our summer concert, the Rock and Roll Cruise In, and the lighting of the tree. We also, part of Main Street for the state, we track the events and how many people attend the events. So you can see over the years, this past year, There was roughly 152 events in downtown Greensboro that included us, Festival Hall, Oakbunny Brewing, and a couple of other events like the local, the parade and those kind of things as well. So we're estimating about 22,000 people have been to downtown Greensboro over the course of the year, seeing at 152 or 159 events. So that's a lot of people that come into our downtown. But with our event, South Bend Jubilee in 2022 was our 22nd. Since we skipped 2 years, it became our 22nd annual. It was a rainout day, but it was still a good day and it ended up being really nice. So people really enjoyed it. The stage was great. And then, and I considered it a success since it rained until the event happened at 10 o'clock that morning. In the summer, in June, we had Cricket on the Green, which was our summer concert, our free summer concert. There was about 1,000 people attended. We'll say this year, Moonlight on Main, we probably doubled that, if not almost tripled that number. So I'm very excited that our summer concert is growing. And then in September, we had our fall rock and roll cruising, which we partnered with the Georgia Classic Cruisers to do the car show. They bring the cars in and we do everything else. We had John Dunn and Jasmine. We had 85 cars for that event that registered. Not everybody that brings a car has to pay and register, so we estimate over about 120 cars that were there for the day, but 85 people paid and actually were judged. Our office also partners with the police department for the downtown trick or treat. Last in 2022, we held it at the back of the BB&T building, so that it was safe for the children to be able to trunk or treat. And then some people still went downtown and trunk or treated with the merchants. But that was really successful, and I hope that Mumford and I still can do that in the next few years because it just keeps getting bigger. And then at Christmas, we did the lighting of the tree. That was a huge success. About 1,500 people. Mayor Williams' first year lighting the tree, and it was big and beautiful and wonderful. And new urban forestry has made my life easier. When we find a tree, they go and cut it down for me and bring it to town. So we are definitely a lot better than what we used to be bringing them into town. And the last pillar for the Main Street is economic vitality, economic development, restructuring, however you want to call it. But again, we track everything that comes to town. We track how many businesses came to town. We had 13 new jobs in 2022. We lost 2 jobs. And then like Kel said, we had $4.1 million in public-private investment invested in downtown Greensboro. The equation for that is on page 21. We take real estate expenses, public investment, infield housing, and do all that. And that was a 52% increase from 2021 of investment in downtown. Another thing our office does is we facilitate low-interest loans to the Georgia Cities Foundation, and we had 3 inquiries last year on the Georgia Cities Foundation, and 1 actually completed an application. Now, he declined to proceed it, but we actually had 1 go all the way to Georgia Cities before he decided that he was not going to open a business. And the last thing for economic vitality, in 2022, the entertainment district took place, and that's been hugely successful for our events. That allows people to get an alcoholic beverage from one of our restaurants and or brewery and walk around our open streets during the closed event, like closed street event, and enjoy our concerts. So they're able to patron all of our restaurants and brewery and enjoy the outside concerts or car show and all that. And it has been very successful, and people are very much enjoying that. So, I'll take over.
Sure. And so at the top of that page, 22, is a little bit of information about Greensboro's Rural Zone. Greensboro's Rural Zone is really our primary economic development incentive for people who want to invest in downtown. The Rural Zone is something that Greensboro had to apply for and be accepted to be designated as, and because of that designation, we can offer tax credits to people who create jobs in downtown, people who invest in property in downtown, and people who rehabilitate property in downtown Greensboro. And so part of what our office does is maintain that designation, so we fill out all the reports that are needed annually to the state of Georgia to keep Greensboro designated as a rural zone. And we also make that information available to property and business owners within the zone so that they know that they're eligible for these tax credits. So in 2022, we did a direct mailing to all of the properties that are in the downtown rural zone so that they would know, hey, you might be eligible for these tax credits. And in 2022, we actually certified 3 properties so that they could claim the rural zone tax credit. And from those 3 certifications, there is a combined $188,000 in potential state tax relief for those downtown investors over the next 5 years. So it means that those businesses can claim dollar for dollar tax credits against their Georgia income tax liability for activities that they, did here in our downtown investing in Greensboro. So we think that is a wonderful, wonderful incentive. Greensboro's rural zone only lasts for 5 years, and sadly, 2023 this year is the last year of our designation. So we hate to see that it's going to end, but we think that we put it to good use over the last 4.5 years. And 2022 is actually our best year to date. Unfortunately, we were designated during the slowdown, during the pandemic years and the shutdown years. So I hate that we part of our designation failed during that, but it is what it is. So anyway, it's $188,000 in potential state tax relief because of the rural zone. So if you turn to page 23, part of what our office does that kind of is a little bit outside of the scope of just pure Main Street is that we assist the city with a lot of grant applications. And so I've given you guys a list that basically all of the grants that were either active or that we applied for in the calendar year 2022. So you can see we have grants going all the way back to the Hurricane Irma disaster declaration that we're just getting closed out in 2022. That kind of gives you an idea of how long it takes to get a project from start to end. But you can see the various grants that we received and were submitted and their status there on that chart. And then finally, on page 24, another area that our office has gotten involved in and helped out with is a lot of the pandemic relief funding. When ARPA funds and CARES Act and all of those funding opportunities came down during the pandemic, there was a lot of work that needed to be done just so that Greensboro could receive those funds. And so that fell to our office to do that. There's reporting requirements that we're still fulfilling on behalf of the city so that Greensboro can maintain the reporting that's required for having received those funds. So that's happening out of our office as well. An example is that Georgia Public Safety stipend. You may have heard in the news that from the governor's office that there was going to be $1,000 stipend for police officers right through the COVID relief money and pandemic relief money. Well, that money didn't just magically appear in Greensboro's checking account one day. We had to actually submit an application to receive that funding. And we had to verify the payroll documents and certifications for all of our peace officers and things like that. So all of that documentation has been kind of on these new programs that were pandemic related, have really kind of landed with us, and we're happy to assist the city and help them that way. But we just want to make you guys as council aware that that's happening on behalf of the city. So the last part of the report is basically just a summary of all of our media releases from 2022 so that you can see some of the information that we were making available out to our local media. But Kendrick and I know we both feel very passionately that we love Greensboro, we love what we do, and it's always a pleasure to come and share with you guys a little bit about the work that we've done, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you all so much. Bye. Any questions from the council?
I just want to submit to UKM. I think you said in the first part of your presentation that you was awarded a grant, but page 5 did not hear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for what y'all do.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for y'all good up.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
I just wanted to acknowledge our staff for doing an outstanding job on this extensive report. It gives a breakdown of what they're doing, and we just would like to recognize them for their efforts. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the Langley Zoning Department, Pam Chilwood. How you doing, Mr. Allen?
Doing well tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Council, good to see you. Many of you I have not met. My name is Hal Chipwood, and I manage the operations in Georgia for Bureau Veritas. City contracted with us back in July of 2021 to manage the planning and building department. That was under the direction of Rick Zire before he retired. Rick was a one-man show. He did a lot of things, and what we bring to the city is a group of individuals that have specific skills in planning and zoning, building inspections and plan review, land development inspections, code enforcement, and also fire inspections. So we have several members on our team. You probably see our vehicles in and out of the city. The great thing about how we perform our services is we're on an on-call as needed basis with the city. We have staff that is always local and in the area. We don't make camp here and spend unnecessary city dollars by just holding your chair in the office. So we're in town, we're usually out in the field, possibly providing some permit reporting while we're in the offices. What I wanted to do tonight is just give you a brief update of where we are so far in 2023 with building permitting and then building inspections. So we do all the building permitting remotely from our offices in Jefferson. Most of the times an applicant will submit directly to us online, where they will bring those into the city, in which city staff graciously emails that over to us, so we're able to process permits more quickly that way. In some cases, when the building inspector is in town and he is working in the city, he will process those permits as well. So far this year, through January through June, the city has collected a total of $29,102.65 in permit fees. The nice thing about that, with us being remote and working on on-call as needed basis, these fee collections have more than paid for our services. So there's been no additional expense to the city for building inspections and permitting. On the following pages of that report, I've given you a list of the permits that have been issued so far this year. I believe there may have only been one single-family dwelling permit that was issued. Try to get an update from my staff before I came in with this. Most of these have been commercial projects down around the 44 corridor and Home Depot and Chick-fil-A. And many of the permits issued you'll see will be just standalone projects, whether it's a renovation or a remodel, or possibly just a standalone electrical or an HVAC permit. We also provide code enforcement services for you, where we enforce the zoning ordinance of the city as well as a property maintenance ordinance for the city. Property maintenance in small towns is always a challenge, and again, this service is provided on an on-call as needed basis. Typically, our code enforcement officer is in town for a few hours, maybe 2 days a week, depending on the activity. The way we have the service set up for code enforcement is it's what we call a reactive service. So if a complaint is called in and given to us, and complaints can come from citizens, complaints can come from city officials, complaints can come in from city staff. If we're given that complaint, we go and address that complaint, and we follow up on that complaint until compliance has been made. I believe the following pages will show some of those complaints that have been called in cases that we have started. Some may be ongoing as we strive to get voluntary compliance. We have not had to go to court, I believe, yet on any complaint. We've been effectively getting voluntary compliance. One of the things that our code officer does is we want to make sure that the city cannot be accused of selective enforcement. In other words, we're getting on this property down here about high grass or junk vehicles, something like that. And then there's another property just right down the street that has the same problem. So what our code enforcement officer does is he goes to a complaint. He's looking to the left and to the right. He's looking behind him and in front of him to see if there's any similar type of complaints. And then he'll bring that back to the city and ask for guidance on how that needs to be approached. So it saves a lot of time. It also helps keep the reduction of complaints that are called in. So far this year, just a small breakdown, we've had 4 cases that involve high grass. We expect those to go up in the summer months, especially with as much rain as we have. Inoperable vehicles, there were 3 cases. Unpermitted work, that was 1 case. Pest infestation, 1 case. Junk and debris on the property, that's 3 cases, and then dilapidated structure, that was 1 case this year. But like I said, our enforcement officer is typically in town 1 to 2 days a week, could be up to 4 hours. He usually just stays until the job gets done. But you won't see him driving about the city looking for complaints on a regular, or looking for violations on a regular basis. This is a softer approach. We find it's been very effective for us and other cities that we've worked in by taking this approach. Another service that we provide for the city is the land disturbance inspections. The city is a local issuing authority of the Environmental Protection Division. Being the LIA, the city becomes an enforcement arm of the EPD and pretty much takes ownership of all the mud or sediment that is lost in the city. So our development inspectors are assigned to certain projects that are ongoing, where there's land disturbing activities going on. They will visit those sites on a weekly basis. Part of the permitting that's required with the EPD requires that inspections are done on a weekly basis, plus following each rain event that occurs. And that's to ensure that we have not lost any sediment into streams, state waters, onto highways. That job sites are containing their sediment. So that's what our land disturbance inspectors do. Our building inspectors are also certified to do this type of work, and they'll be inspecting those on single-family job sites. That way we're not overworking the land disturbance inspectors. So the land disturbance inspectors will mainly be working on larger projects. Right now we have 4 projects that have been issued a land disturbance permit and are under activity right now. They're all down around the 44 corridor there at the Home Depot. Longhorn Steakhouse, Holiday Inn Express, the Greensboro Center is actually on the other side of the city side of I-20. That's right there, backs up to the water treatment facility. And also the Coney Town Center. All the Longhorns, the Holiday Inn, and the Coney Town Center are under, they're disturbing land right now and in progress. The Greensboro Center is not yet broken ground on theirs. And I've given you, provided you with site plans on those just to kind of give you an idea of where these projects are located and the property that they're on. Our largest task with the city is in planning and zoning, where we provide guidance to the planning commission and the historic preservation commission for different cases that come in regards to annexations, rezones, conditional uses, special uses, and things like that. Right now, we have several incoming projects that I have listed to you, and also I've given you the concept plans of those. You'll be, some of these you have maybe familiar with, you've heard portions of the reports for those. Others, they may be new. The one on the top of our list is Hilltop Acres. It is going through the DRI process right now. That's Development Regional Impact. The Northeast Georgia Regional Commission will do a study and prepare a report on this project, and they will in turn send that out to some of the surrounding local governments to let them know of this project is coming in. So we go through some extensive research with this to make sure that our water and sewer capacities are going to be sufficient, that traffic studies are done to make sure that our roads can handle these new developments. So Hilltop Acres is going in on Beasy Road. I believe you have heard the first portion of this property being annexed into the city. We have not voted on it yet because we can't do that until after the DRI has been completed. So in the coming months, you will be presented with the final note for annexation of this property. We provided a concept plan here. This is going to be a residential community of single-family residences and some townhomes. The next is Grind Capital. They're doing a large mixed-use development. Oh, I'm sorry. This is an industrial development. They're actually going before the Planning Commission this month to request a rezoning of this parcel to LI, which is light industrial. We don't have all the details on exactly what type of industry is coming in here or is being proposed to come in. Right now, they're telling us that it is an eco-friendly. So as they go before the Planning and Zoning Commission here at the end of the month, the Planning and Zoning Commission will be asking some very detailed questions to this project as they present. This is also a very large project that will have to go through the DRI process. But before we get them too deep in the weeds with the DRI process, we're giving them the ability to get some guidance from the Planning Commission. And to see, I guess they want to make sure it's worth their while to come into the city. This project will back up to the Hilltop Acre project. Hilltop Acres is a busy road, the Martin Luther King road area over here, and then this project is going to be between Highway 44 and that project. So we're paying close attention to that, and I'm eager to hear what their presentation is going to involve at the end of the month. Next we have, let's see, I think I've got a Coney Village listed, but it's not in the, I think it's in the order. These are the last two pages, I believe, of your report. The Coney Village is going to be a mixed-use development. It's a CPUD. It has gone through the DRI process and has been annexed and rezoned into the city limits. The front portion is going to be a commercial area with several retail stores. Looks like there's going to be a theater that they're going to be proposing. The back portion of that property is going to be single family, multifamily, and townhome development. Next, we have the historic depot Maker's Mark. I apologize for having these out of order. But that is this sheet right here. This was presented not long ago to the Planning and Zoning Board for a renovation of the historic depot down there next to the Coney Brewing Company. The proposal there is to have some 5 new residences in a portion of that, and then a Maker's Mark retail area in the other portion. Spoken with Nathan and Gary recently, and that project is currently on hold right now as they are developing some additional plans for permitting. Next, we have the Taco Bell restaurant located down on the 44 corridor. This has already been approved. Council, they're in the process of developing this project as part of the coming phase 3. We're having a road extension done down there, I believe it's Hospitality Drive, and then also some parcels being created. Taco Bell is currently in review with the Georgia Soil and Water Commission, and also in building and planning review as well. And lastly, we have the racetrack, and it is currently in the review process with Georgia Soil and Water Conservation Commission for their land disturbing activities, and we're prepared to do a land disturbance permitting pre-construction meeting within the coming weeks when that review is completed. So those are just some of the upcoming projects that we have going on. I want to give the council an idea of what services we do provide for the city and how those services are provided. We do intend to be preparing quarterly reports for you that will present on the second council meeting of the quarterly reports.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chipwood. Are there any questions coming from the council at this time?
Yeah, I have one, Mr. Mayor.
Right, go ahead. Yes,
Mr. Wood, nice meeting, first time meeting you. Understand you said that partially, probably having on Greensboro Road being annexed into the city. Can you tell me how much property is that you think is potentially being annexed into the city?
Forgive me for not knowing this right off the top of my head. I do have a staff that prepares a lot of this for me, so I have a lot of people much smarter than I am who work for me. This is, I can't recall off the top of my head. Brett?
Yes,
What's your acreage?
it's 120.5 acres.
124.5 acres.
Thank you, sir. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
all right, thank you, Councilman. City Manager.
I just wanted to say, Mr. Mayor and Council, that after I met with Hal, we thought it would be best to have you all have the knowledge of what's happening in our community, and that's why we agreed that we would provide quarterly updates to you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
And I would like to add, if I may, that with, I work with many communities doing this type of work, and we do have an excellent staff that works for the city. We have the pleasure of working with Kelly Kendrick on some projects, and they're just wonderful to work with, always readily available for any questions that we may have. Your city staff at City Hall are just top notch. And we really enjoy working with everybody. It's been a great partnership.
One more, before you leave that podium, the home circle that burned, did we check on that?
I'll have to check with Ramon on that. I don't have an answer for
Thank
But
Before we go to unfinished business, council, the regular session minutes before you. I hope you had time to read over. If you haven't had time to read over those minutes, I'll give you time now. And once you completed reading over those minutes, I ask that you would raise your hand, signifying that you're ready to approve those minutes. That's three. I entertain a motion now, second to approve the regular session minutes of July 3rd, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor, let it know by raising your right hand. Unanimous decision. Thank you all so much. Brings us down to number 6, unfinished business. At this time, I have no unfinished business. Councilman, what do you have in?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
City attorney, any unfinished business?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
City manager?
No, sir.
City Clerk? Councilman Miller?
Nothing, Smith.
Councilwoman Rivers?
No.
Councilman Smith?
No, sir.
Councilman Neal?
No, sir.
That brings us down to number 7. I have no new business at this time. Councilman Moore, you have it.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
City Attorney?
No, Mr. Mayor.
City Manager?
No, sir.
City Clerk? Councilman Miller?
Nothing, man.
Councilman Rivers?
No.
Councilman Smith?
No, sir.
Councilman Neal?
No.
All right, brings us down to number 8, and I see I only had one comment card coming from the public. And that's coming from Ms. Morgan Stratton, and she's coming to speak on that. No questions? All right, thank you so much. This brings us to the end of this meeting. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, showing concern for the city of Greensboro. At this time, I entertain a motion and a second to leave this meeting.
Motion to adjourn, Mayor.
Second.
It's been second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor, let me know by raising your right hand. I see that Ms. Councilman Rivers prayed us out. Last name, Councilman Smith, can you pray us out this week?
Father God, thank you for this evening. Lord, I ask you to continue to bless the city, bless the employees, bless the people that sing around this table, Lord Father. Lord Jesus, there's a lot going on right now, Lord. I ask you to cover, Lord, and bless everything that we're doing for the build of this city. In Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all so much for your time.